Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show's about to begin. Farhan, let's
get down to business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Golden Nuggets with me, your host, Silvia Eldawi. Today, I'm joined by Farhan Ali, who has sold over 4 billion worth of real estate. He is the founder and CEO of EverNest Real Estate LLC. Welcome to the show, Farhan.
Thank you, Silvia. I'm very happy to be here, and I hope we'll have a good episode today.
We're going to have a great episode because you're going to talk to us about off-plan, which is the hot topic right now. A lot of people making a lot of money. We just need to say, people have heard of the name EverNest, not to be confused with EverNest Holiday Homes, who were in the press for doing some very naughty stuff. You actually chose the name without realizing there was a history of...
So it's very important to know for everybody. And during the COVID lockdown, I actually came up with this idea that I'm not finally traveling around the world. So I should start my own real estate agency, right? So I did my research and I checked with the DED department as well. There was no such name in the market. So about 1 year later, I found out on the news and some people started calling me, including friends and colleagues. What did you do? I said, what's happening?
Not me. It wasn't me.
Yeah. So the company somehow had the same first name, but they were doing only short-term rentals, holiday homes. So I even, I got a call from Khaleej Times. Would you like to say something? And there was an article as well where I said I have no affiliation whatsoever with this company. And we are registered in DED as a real estate LLC company. We do buying, selling, long-term rentals and property management.
So no short-term rentals,
no holiday homes. And I don't have any plan to do so. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit about your background and how you got into, how you became one of the off-plan superstars?
Yeah, so very interesting. So my sister moved here back in 1997. So basically I had an opportunity to visit her in 2011. And I came here for 30, 40 days and I saw what's happening in Dubai. So basically,
can I just say, if my sister was here from 1997, my opportunity to visit would be in 1997. I would have been here from 97.
Well, yes, I think I was in military school. So basically the schedule was very tight. Until high school, I was, going early morning 5 and coming back home at 4. So never even thought about, leaving the country. So basically, lucky enough to get an opportunity to visit here. I saw real estate, tourism. These 2-3 industries were very dominating. And I was like, okay, I've got finance background and I'm planning to do masters in finance as well. So maybe, in future, if I would come here, I want to give it a try. Because as per my academic background, I wanted to be accountant or chartered accountant or something. And that's what I did when I moved here in 2013. I started as an accountant in one of the real estate in the very next building where my office is today. And within 6 months, my focus was, I'm not going to run the books for these guys. I want to get into sales.
Is it because you were seeing the numbers that were coming out of the accounts department?
Not really only the numbers. Yeah, the numbers are always amazing. You see how the guys are making money. But I think for me, it was more like, okay, you have to go out, you're networking with different people. You're not in one place because I'm not the person, who would sit all day in the office, even though my job was to sit in the office as an accountant. But I started going out with some agents, will take permission from the CEO. Can I go, hang out with these guys, how they're doing viewings and all that? And I asked one of my, agent, can I do this viewing? Can I, do a tour with the client? And in few weeks, I knew that, I need to try my luck. And definitely not a good start. First year was only rentals without license. So basically I was doing JLT, Dubai Marina, all the areas basically which were connected to public transportation. And I had my luck, first rental in 3 months in JLT. It was a Walid Properties Tower in JLT, managed properties. And from there, I thought, I will be really looking forward into real estate as a full-time career. But again, very rough time, first 1.5 years, hardly closed 1-2 sales and 5-6 rentals. But then again, that's what kept me motivating that, this is the beginning and this is not something that I wanted to do, but now I'm, getting into this.
You're getting into the swing of it.
Yeah, by the end of 2015, I was more driven by the idea of that, it's more like your business, you are responsible for everything what you do. And it's been amazing so far, almost 9 years now.
And so at what point, so you had quite a rough start, which is most people do tend to start in rentals, then they might move on to secondary, and then off plan or stay in secondary, or they might go up a few grades. So when did you get your break into big money real estate?
So basically around after 2 years of my experience in 2017, I started looking out for options with the, like exclusivity. I would call and I would offer my services that, look, I don't have much of a big portfolio to manage right now, so I can concentrate on your property very well. It's not only going to be portals, I'm going to do email marketing. I'm going to do something different than other agents to promote your property. And at that time, there was no Instagram, there was no social media where you can do a property tour. So basically, I started maintaining relationship with the building security.
Right.
If anybody come here and ask, is there a property for sale? Just give them my number and I will give them a tour. So one of the deal which really excites me is one of the client, Emirati, visited from Sharjah, one building in Dubai Marina, Marina Diamond 3 to be precise. And he has the security. I like this building. It's very close to metro station, very close to the beach. Do you have something here? He's like, I know one agent who's got a very beautiful property here, 1 bedroom around 900,000. So it was just, like a very shocking experience for me. He came directly from the building to our office, and in 30 minutes, he said, okay, I want to sign the MOU. So it included, 2% commission from the seller and 2% from the buyer. So it ended up becoming, a $10,000 worth of commission, because before I was doing very little money, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, maybe selling a property of 600-700, but commission shared with the company. So that sale actually was very, very, like a big turnover for me that, okay, I need to sell 2 every month, maybe 3, maybe 4. And within next 1 week, 10 days, since, I believe in, building relationships, I had a banker who approached me that I have a client who's sitting with 3 million cash. Do you have anything nice? I mean, what do you mean by nice? Like, tell me straightforward, what do you need? He's like, I need a good deal. I said, why don't we split this money into 2-3 properties so he can have more rental income? And as well as if he would like to exit in near future, he can sell one of the properties, right? So I gave him a 2-bedroom in Global Lakeview for about $1 million. Very good deal. And a studio in Furjan and another studio in Furjan. And that was like a deal of $2 million. So basically the success didn't happen like from 1 million to 10 million. It was all about having 3 deals, and then I got another listing of a townhouse in JVC, and then a villa for 4 million. So it just kept going. And that's where around 2019, I got into big stuff, selling full floors, and then started talking about full buildings, and I definitely hit all my targets.
You moved your way around the monopoly board, so to speak.
Yeah. So basically, that's where around 2018, I saw that the need for most of the investors are very clear. They want to get into off-plan. And what is off-plan? Back in 2018-19, nobody would expect that your property will be double. We were working on very regular numbers, Like you get into an off-plan, which is not a developed location. And around that time, Maidan area in general was announced in 2015, but nothing much was happening there, right? So basically, MBR city, they divided into District 1, Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum city, and then Sobha Heartland and Azizi Rivera. And 2017-18, this area was the most selling and the most hot topic for everyone, because it's just across the downtown. And it was the first time that a gated community was coming so closer to the Burj Khalifa and downtown district. And this is where I was like, okay, I'm going to just sit here.
Dominate.
I'm not looking at JVC, Marina, or all the other areas where projects are coming. And the community was obviously one of its kind. For the first time ever in Dubai, there was a concept of crystal lagoon, man-made lagoon, which is also of 7 kilometer. So it was a very, like exciting opportunity for investors as well. And I, started with this first transaction in that community was 5 units for one of my client. And then, started doing my research, my numbers, and just discussing with the investors. So secured 2 buildings for one of the investors. And from there, I got referrals, and everybody was like, this is a good opportunity. Because if we talk about number-wise, 1,500 dirham per square feet, you can have a Burj Khalifa view, and you can have a lagoon, and you can have a world's biggest shopping mall, Meydan. At that time, it was all announced at the same time. So basically, that's how the off-plan started.
Okay. And how did you set up EverNest?
So EverNest, very interesting, like we discussed in the beginning of the show. So around 2019, I've done around 250 million dirhams of sale. And I'm looking at most of the companies, how they were, developing their strategy to sell off-plan. And my thing was like, I always wanted to think different than others. We are in one of the best cities in the world. Everybody keeps saying the safest, the best, the luxury, the lifestyle. So why not promote the same outside Dubai? So one of the developer, Damac, they are very strong. They have been doing roadshows since 2004. They would set up a, nice stand in Nigeria, in other countries, and they did good numbers. So I was like, okay, I need to start going out. For that, if I discuss my plan with some of the directors or the companies I was working in, they were not so motivated or sure about it, even though I brought them some results. So COVID came, and, it was a very frustrating period for everyone sitting at home. And that time, I just started cooking some ideas. Okay, this is the time where I don't have any responsibilities, where I know, need to look for deals for investors or resell their properties. Not much was happening. So I approached the security of the same company where I was working, and I said, do you have a space here for office? And he said, of course, COVID, we have some space left, no clients. I said, I would like to sign an agreement. And they were like, are you crazy? This is lockdown period. Nobody is planning to invest. I said, listen, I'm talking about opening a real estate company. I'm not opening, a product which has demand now or later. Real estate is something that everybody needs real estate in their life, This is like a long-term thing. And that's
pandemic or no pandemic, you knew that there was going to be...
yeah, definitely. Most of the things, if we look at the history in stock exchange or real estate or any other business which includes farming, when the situation is bad, everybody's panicking.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people do mistakes and they lose money. Whoever can, pass that time and control their emotions and feelings, good times is always there, right? So started in the middle of June when the lockdown was a little bit relaxed, and opened my office on 20th of September. 2020, the year to remember.
We will not forget that year.
Yeah. So basically that's how it started. And I didn't have any plan to have a big team in the beginning. I just wanted to pick, admin staff and few agents with the reference, and also to hire freshers and train them. And, it's been wonderful. Within the 4 years as of today, apart from my own sales, the company had done over 3 billion of sales. So I'm very happy with where we are going.
And the need for that company you felt was because you weren't really getting the support that you wanted or encouragement to do these roadshows, right?
Yeah, so basically roadshows, and as well as I saw, when a person joined real estate in Dubai, there is no training, there is no infrastructure. I'm sorry to say, but even most of the big companies, they might have now, but 4 or 5 years ago, there was no infrastructure. A person coming into real estate, they just give him data, do the calling, go here, go there.
There might be like a 2-week induction.
Exactly. Yes. So at the end of the month, the agent, he doesn't know which community he's going to focus, what exactly he needs to do. He's, shaking his head and going here and there. Okay, how did you close this deal? So basically, I wanted to, share my experience, my knowledge, whoever is coming into the company. And even though, as of today, we are a team of 20 plus, out of that 4 people I hired, they had no idea about real estate. I'm sure they've made more money than the experienced one. Just because, I made this personal goal that whoever is coming inside, even if they're not going to make money, at least when they leave, they say that, okay, I learned a lot and I am somewhere else and I'm, going to get some good results somewhere else even.
So let's talk about roadshows then and
Yeah.
and launching off plan. At the moment, project launches, you don't even need to get to the roadshow. It's selling out on launch day. I want to get your golden nuggets for off-plan agents on preparing for launches.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So basically, roadshow is not a concept, when you go and the new launch is happening at the same time you're planning an event, because you are approaching investors. Some of them, they have not even been to Dubai, like they are coming to just get general information, right? So I would say in order for the agents to prepare for off-plan selling at the international roadshow, you have to first combine your products, like so, what exactly you are advertising before you are going. Are you advertising that we are coming for a roadshow, or you are talking about specific developer or specific product? Because if it is in general that we are coming from Dubai and presenting you one of the best opportunities to invest in real estate, then depending on the client budget and their needs, there are always good opportunities in Dubai.
Let's talk about just launches. Forget roadshows for a second. So just the launches that have been happening. I heard a stat that it was like there's a new launch every 18 hours at the moment. So what should agents be doing to prepare themselves for each launch?
Yeah, I think the relationship with the developer is very, very important. You need to know in advance what's coming and where it is coming and what exactly is the plan for the new launch. If we talk about quarterly planning, thanks to some of the developers like Damac and Emaar, they are sharing their plan with their top 20 agencies that June, July, August, we will have this launches. So it gives you a 3-4 weeks time in advance. Let's say now we are in the beginning of the June. Emaar has shared their plans that they will have a launch next week in the Expo townhouses and villas, and then right week after in the Valley, and then next month they will have another building in Creek Harbor and another building in Minna Rashid. So agents who are well focused and doing focus selling, they know, they should know in advance that I need to prepare for these things. And if I'm doing calling and if I'm approaching existing investors, I need to prepare.
What's that preparation look like?
Yes, so this is the point where most of the agents are not prepared, right? They are selling the hype, right? And if we talk about many of the off-plan projects, they might not be reselling as of today with the expectations they had when they pitched it to their clients and they sold it. So I would say history is very important, right? If you are talking about master community, you need to know the previous phases, when they were launched and what was the price and why the developer increased the price. What is the resale value of the specific segment of townhouses or apartments in the similar community? So you need to do your numbers. You need to have a very good presentation and as well as solid knowledge about the specific area, the history of the developer, and then it's easy for you if you get the right client and they are asking you the questions that you have knowledge and honest answer, then it's easy to bring them closer to a point where they can do an expression of interest.
And how deep do you go do you go down to the floor plans and working out the different unit types and comparing them? Like, how exhaustive is your preparation?
Yeah, so developers to developers, most of the developers, they seems to have very similar layouts, right? If we're talking about beachfront property, they need to have definitely view from the balcony. That's what matters for the investor, that, okay, I'm buying waterfront, I need a view. Because if there is no view, then it means you're buying the least, cheaper option in that development. And that's where your capital appreciation is not going to be so high as it would be with the best view. So my specific preparation when I am, preparing for a new launch, like I said, I'm doing the history study, the master plan study, what's coming in next as well as the size. If you're getting a cheaper price for this launch than the previous launch, you need to understand, is this because of the smaller size or is this because the building is not upfront at the water, it is in the second or third row? or is it far from the amenity or far from the public transportation. All these key factors, they matters a lot. And if you understand the idea why if you can justify the price to your client basically, but I would say like if you can justify it to yourself first, and then you can definitely go forward and discuss it with your clients and whoever is in your pipeline.
Okay.
Because unless you don't understand the product, then
can't
it's
convince.
definitely not easy for you to pitch it to your clients as well.
And you touched on something that's really important, is the relationship with the developers. So how do you, Farhan, manage those relationships or nurture the relationships? What do you do?
So since I've been selling off plan from 7-8 years now, I would say specific developers, I tend to work with the same managers for a longer period of time. The reason is, when you crack a deal with someone from the developer, you understand their, the
way they operate.
Yes, exactly. And with an experienced agent for myself, like if I have a client for an off plan, the client is 70% prepared by me already. 30% job should be done by the developer, which is where the relationship matters.
Right.
How, he's presenting his company, what are the time frames to finish the down payment, to sign the contract, how good is their, CRM system that the clients, if they have any inquiry in future, he will understand. So basically, I would say in order to have a very strong relationship with the developer, you should stick to the developer and make sure you have very good numbers. You're getting priority at the new launch, as well as you're getting very good after sales. Agents who would call specific relationship manager once a month that I have a client, he's not going to pay much attention, to be honest. So even if you don't have a client, you should call your relationship manager from the developer and you ask him what's happening, what product you have, is there an inventory, is there any unique selling point you can share with me based on your experience. So it all depends how active you are with certain developer, and that's how you will improve your relationship with the developer.
I mean, of course, it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Exactly.
Like, do I have to sell a lot with this sales manager before they take me seriously? Or how am I going to get through the door? So what would you say to someone who's really trying to get in with a particular developer? What would your advice to them be?
I think it's not really about selling big, then you will get respect and good relationship. You should define yourself as an agent to the relationship manager as well. How good you are with the knowledge of their products. If you have done the training with the developer, most of the developers now, they have their own academy, right? They want to share the new agents, who they are, how they started, what they have achieved, how many units they have delivered, how their products are reselling in the market, how their communities are, providing a lifestyle to the tenant or the landlords who are staying in their communities. So when you are sharing these positive things with the relationship manager, he will put more energy that this guy, he knows my product. He's already, not selling the project, he's selling the company, the lifestyle, the history, the achievements record, they have done. Yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned that 70% of the client prep work is down to you, 30% is down to the developers themselves. So in that 70%, of course, apart from knowing about the project, about the amenities, about the pricing and so on, what else do they need to know? What else do you need to be prepared for?
I think it depends the time frame that you are along with that client. If you just got a prospect yesterday, it's not gonna be easy for you to justify everything yourself, your experience, your history, and your client dealing and your portfolio management. And this is why agents do mistake. They get a lead and they are already I'm very honest. You can trust me. I'm gonna get you the best unit, this and that, without having the a face-to-face meeting, even that the person have not seen you over the phone, you're promising too much.
I mean, I immediately don't trust anyone who says, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where, you need to come with experience. If you're talking to someone you have not met in person, right? You need to just share the basic stuff. You don't have to overpromise. You don't have to oversell anything. The reason why he registered his interest for a community or a specific project, you need to ask him why you are interested in investing in, for example, is it a waterfront property or a golf course or a normal project around, in the city. And from there, you understand what's his need. He's looking for his personal use, or he's looking for his investment. Then you can ask him, have you done any other investment in the similar area? What makes you, so sure that you are picking a JVC or a Jan or Business Bay? What are the reason, behind your idea of investing into this? And if he says, I don't know, you need to tell me. Then you definitely share all the advantages and disadvantages of that location or the developer, as well as, since we are brokers, we are allowed to sell anything in the market we want. So you need to know the history, which are the good developers, how their after sales, how well is the maintenance, and then you can share these things and then leave it on him, give him a time to answer immediately, or after a day or 2 days he comes up with an objection. But if you have said things that doesn't make sense, he's not going to answer your call the next time.
And I think it's obvious when you're pushing a particular developer that may be paying a higher commission than the others, that comes across. Don't you agree?
It is one of the reason as well, because like I said, social media is now very visible to everybody. Most of the clients, they know how much agents are getting paid out of their deals. This is where they want to work with the right person, that they deserve, that this person deserve to make this much money out of my idea of investing into real estate. And that's where I think a broker should be more open with the client. Introduce yourself, your services. Just don't tell him, I'm going to get you a good unit. You give him your history, that I have worked with 30 clients, 40 clients in past, that I have managed their portfolio. I've managed to resell their properties at a particular time with my advice, with my research. So I'm going to provide you after sale service. I'll be notifying you with the development of the construction. I'll be notifying you if there is any other project in the same area and what's the price difference. So basically you're trying to,
be their
not
advisor.
only sell him, but you're trying to present him the whole idea that I am working as not as a broker, but more like a business person, that I will keep you updated with everything. And I'll be managing your property, renting your property. Even though I think I would say the agent should offer extra services without extra money, because these things are not so much time consuming. Even if it's opening a company for a client, you should be in touch with some consultant that you can call them and introduce your client to them, and they do the things for them.
Interior
Even,
designers.
Yes, golden visa, helping with the setting up a family residency and bank account. So basically you need to have 360-degree solution for your clients, which makes you more stronger than comparing to other agents in the market.
And a lot of off-plan agents, of course, a lot of it is kind of crystal ball type work. Like you have to predict what you think is going to be the rental income. You have to predict what you suspect the capital appreciation will be. How do you come up with these numbers as a finance guy yourself?
Yeah. So basically this is very interesting for me, right? Because most of the clients, they invest in real estate because of the numbers. So history is there, right? We have DXB Interact, for example, from a couple of years now. The tool is very nice. You have history of each and every transaction, building, apartment number, and all that. Even though there is some fluctuations where the clients are, arguing, okay, you're asking 3 million, for example, for a property, but the transaction there are maybe only 3 or 4 transactions that are around 3 million. Some of them are higher than 3 million, and a lot of them are lower than. This is where you need to explain him maybe the lower floor, or the view or the layout or the size.
I'm in a couple of WhatsApp groups and it's been going off today. There's a feature on Beirut which shows you what the transaction history was for a particular unit. And everyone's in the group is going off like, no, it's not. You should not know what the unit number of the property that's being listed. You should not know the transaction history. And it's like, well, hold on a second. Is it okay for you as an agent or an agency to predict what the capital appreciation will be, but hide the history? Okay, maybe it was purchased a year ago, 2 million less than it's on the market for now. But you're seeing the bad side of it, but actually that's a great example of what's been happening in Dubai. And surely that will encourage people to continue buying here.
Yeah, so this is where a very interesting things come to my mind, where a lot of agents are actually putting it up in terms of. So basically, if we look at the capital appreciation, right? Since 2007, when the off-plan concept started here, Dubai was not developed. Prices were different. Every year we see a lot of infrastructure development, right? But post-COVID, Dubai has a lot of marketing itself. We were the first one to, secure and control the COVID, and as well as if we look at the investors, since the beginning of the development of the city, most of the investors are expat, or many of them they don't even live here, right? The capital appreciation concept came into market after COVID, first of all for the luxury segment and as well as for the gated community. Many of the standalone tower, their prices seems to be same as pre-COVID, right? So now how we are predicting the number, right? If we look at the waterfront segment, you have one of the most expensive area in Dubai, which is Palm Jumeirah. The prices have gone up to 500-600% as well, right? 4 years ago, a garden home with the 7,000 square feet of plot was around 10 to 15 million. Maybe if it was upgraded or it has, a little bit extra space inside or nice interior, could go for 18. But today, nothing in the market is less than 60, 70. So that's 3-4 times more. But agents are selling the same idea. Look at this property and comparing it with an area like Dubai land. You can't compare Palm Jumeirah with Dubai land. You cannot compare downtown with the JVC. You cannot compare Marina with any other area which does not have the same lifestyle or the similar kind of developers that are showcasing their properties. So how I predict capital appreciation or number, even though my team is very much aware, every Monday we discuss these things. Okay, this project, they ask me questions. Okay, for example, now a lot of developers in JVC, they are selling their product minimum 1,500 dirham per square feet. So they are asking, boss, what do you expect? How much capital appreciation? I said, let's be realistic, JVC always had a price between 800 to 1,200 dirham per square feet for one of the longest periods, 7 years. But then if you look at the ready property, they are above 15 to 1,600. And this is the concept in Dubai. Your off-plan should be always 5-10% lesser than the ready market. This is very important for most of the developers. But if we look at some of the new communities were launched last month, I don't want to name the developers to be personal with them, but you could find a ready townhouse little bit cheaper than the new one. So now whoever invested there, if somebody could invest with me, it would be a personal reason. I don't have cash. I want to get into a new community where I can pay in 4 years. But if somebody can afford, you could better invest in a ready property if it is 10%, 15% more than off plan, because that's a normal price for a ready product, because your rental income is immediately there, or it serves you the purpose of not waiting 2-3 years to
and
move
you can see it, it's ready.
Exactly, right? So yeah, based on history or in the area, based on what are the rentals in the current market and how many units are going to be delivered in the same area in a particular time, you need to know this as an agent. Like in Dubai land, I would say in next 2-3 years, we are expecting around 15 to 20,000 townhouses and villas. Damac Lagoons itself, more than 6,000-7,000 townhouses and villas are coming in 2025, 6 and 7. You also have Townscare, they launched a few clusters. You have Oasis by Emaar, they launched maybe 2 clusters now, around 1,000 units. So altogether, you need to understand. So based on this, we can predict. But looking at the Dubai in terms of economy, we are doing a really good contribution in the economy in terms of like helping. There is no tourism, no oil money. There is real estate as well. People are injecting money because they have seen what we have delivered, and I believe that we are moving towards a very good program soon with the help of the government. That we are planting more trees, we are opening up, with the new parks, new areas where, like a lot of other amenities are there in terms of, lagoons almost in every community now. Shopping mall is coming, not a small like pavilion, but a really good size mall. If we look at the live example, Dubai Hills Mall. So it is a good thing for other developers to look at it. And that's how you get capital gains when you have a lot of infrastructure within your projects.
The thing that makes me laugh is all the hype going on about the new airport. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's great to have a new airport. It's going to be the largest in the world, I think. Did they say largest in the world?
Yes, they are talking about it. Yes.
But then how quickly the agents then started saying, right, buy property here next to the new airport. And I was like, hold on a second. Let's look at some of the major cities around the world. JFK, I mean, that airport is in the middle of, is it Queens or something? Terrible area.
Yeah.
You look at London, Heathrow. Okay,
Yeah.
I own a property that's not too far from Heathrow, Brentford, Ealing. But you've got areas like Staines and, terrible area. Nobody buys next to the airport because guess what? Airplane noise, it's quite disruptive. There's a lot of traffic. So it's the Dubai spin on, we have a new airport.
New airport, invest next to the airport. Yeah, there is a
come and
buzz.
buy-
Invest into the airport, you'll have a lot of profit. See, I think if I am selling there, which I did, I think this would be a reason in the middle, not the first priority to invest,
Yeah.
right? Just like you said, Heathrow. Heathrow is how long it takes you to get to the city center, like the nice area, Brompton
I'd
Road.
say
in
half an hour, 45 minutes.
45
yeah.
minutes, right? So as of now, you can leave from downtown to the upcoming new airport in 45 minutes as well.
Well, to be honest, it takes me from Marina to downtown sometimes 45 minutes these
45
days,
minutes. I think that's where the government is also planning. There was an article a few weeks back, 20-minute city. They are having a lot of development plans for the metro, a lot of flyovers and tunnels inside the, the crowded area, which will definitely make the traffic
Calm down a bit.
a bit. But yeah, we're talking about Dubai South. I think it's not only about the airport. The government have a little bit bigger agenda than the airport. There is also a commercial city in pipeline, which is not announced yet. Similar concept to Business Bay or Media City, where you will have a lot of commercial towers. That will create a lot of jobs, Already you have DIP industrial area, you have Jabal Ali Free Zone, you have, a lot of big companies, manufacturing, logistics, their setup is there. So it will not only cater the tourists who are coming at the new airport. It will also help the people who are working in those areas. They don't have to drive 30-40 minutes to come to JVC or Al Furjan. They would have opportunities to live closer to their work. And as well as I like it because we're not building standalone buildings. As of today, whatever launched in Dubai South is a master development. And we have many success stories in Dubai if we look at master development, To start with the Meadows and Springs, one of the first freehold communities in Dubai. They are well established today. People have made a lot of money from the rental only, and then Arabian Ranches. And then slowly, gradually, a lot of other communities in Dubai Island. So all the developers, they have learned from their history, what they have done, what was missing in the community. So a new master plan coming in any part of the city, it is loaded with school, with the hospital, with shopping mall, jogging
Trees, running tracks,
lakes, and many, many things. But another reason why should you go out the city and invest into new development is also the price per square foot. Now, price in general on Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road along, the Global Village, you have one of the luxury community, Al Barari. You can't compare it with the others because of its,
Uniqueness,
specialty, uniqueness. You have, amazing lifestyle. But overall, it is somewhere around 1,500 to 1,700 dirham per square feet. So this is why the new communities are coming up with 1,000, 1,100 dirham per square feet. This is around 30-40% less than the ready communities or communities which are more closer to the city. So this is one of the reason as well, because these communities, they were 4 or 5 years ago at the price which we are, launching the south area. So you need to also history, like I said, do your study, check what was the prices in these areas and why they are more now, because there is less availability for ready to move in, number one. Number two, like if like you said earlier, if you can see something already, it's going to cost you a little bit more than what's planned for, coming up in 3-4 years.
And you touched on a good point about you're dealing with foreign buyers, different communication styles needed. So how do you adapt to each different nationality type that's coming in
Yeah.
to invest?
So I think we will cover this thing in our roadshow topic, but since I will elaborate in a way that you ask me multiple nationalities you are dealing with. You have to study each and every country where you are doing your promotion. Even if the customer lands from somewhere in Africa and you have never been, you don't know, you just got a lead in your, from your company, you need to go in Wikipedia, search about how big is the country, how many people are living there, what are the taxation rules there. Go
You know what's
search
really
on,
good on
Yeah.
YouTube? You can just type in, let's say you're talking about Nairobi. You can
Yes.
type in 24 hours in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And there's so many videos
That you
about
can, yes.
So just try and get to understand. That's some really good
Understand,
advice.
and as well as do research on online. What are the real estate looks like there? What are the benefits for the people who are investing in there, and why what are the reasons that made them feel like, okay, I want to invest outside my own country as
Right.
well. Like maybe the democracy, it's not stable,
Tax.
there is tax, there is security issues, or just like everybody wants a piece of Dubai, so you need to identify the reason. And that's how it gives you advantage, that you should know a little bit about their culture, about their financial market, about their economy, about social activities, what they are missing, so you can offer them and you can do a comparative analysis and pitch them the right ideas why to invest here. That's one of my key factor when I'm dealing with different nationalities.
Okay.
And if you could have an opportunity to travel there for holidays, which I like to travel, I've been to more than 70 countries myself, so I can come up, I was there, I've seen how it is and all that. So it's naturally your body language is giving them answers about their needs, and you can do really well, much better than other agents who don't want to do research.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about roadshows then.
Yes.
What's your blueprint for a successful roadshow?
I think Roadshow, it has become like typical practice from every single developer. They have hired business development managers, channel relationship team. They come and call you, let's do a roadshow. And trust me, most of these guys working in developers without prior history of doing these events, when you ask them, okay, what's the plan? They said, you tell us what's the plan. So imagine $1 billion worth of developer, they don't know how to execute a roadshow. They're asking the agency, you do the marketing, we will pay for the venue. Anybody can pay venue. It depends on country to country. If you're going to UK, your venue may be 3,000-4,000 pounds for 2 days. But you need to prepare for a roadshow, and a perfect planning for a roadshow would be just like I messaged you. You need to study why people are interested from UK in Dubai. Yes, because of taxes, because their real estate market is not doing well, or they have certain other issues, security and all that. But then again, it's not only about these. Like I said, many people, they come on holidays in Dubai and they fall in love with the city, and they're like, okay, this is very organized, I want to invest some of my money. So you, first of all, you need to come up with a plan where you are setting up a budget for your marketing, and you're picking a right venue. Like if you're going to UK or Europe, make sure you're very close to the subway, you're very close to the public transportation, because traffic is crazy in these places. And people, when they know, okay, I'm going to drive 45 minutes, I'm not going. Location, the venue, and the marketing budget. And then you need to pick the right advisors who must have a lot of knowledge about off-plan, and as well as, that they should know the basic things about the country they are flying into for roadshow, what ideas and what sorts of benefits will hit the customers, that they will be very willing to make a decision of buying an off plan. But it helps you if you can have a certain kind of test, which is you should have a network of some real estate agency there, and you could ask them how is their market, why people are selling, panicking, whatever is happening, right? And once you figure out, okay, this seems to be a good location, but I will add one more thing. You can also check with the developers what nationalities are buying, and if certain location the British are buying, waterfront projects, then you must go to London and offer them a waterfront project. So this is how you do it. But once you are at the event, there is something very important. Most of the agencies, they do marketing, the leads come in, they just send a VIP invitation, walk into the road shows, but there is no qualification, right? So I've done more than 70 road shows myself, and even as a company, we have done 40 road shows. I've sent my agents, they have also learned from their experience. Qualification of the buyers is very important.
How'd you do it?
You can ask them basically 3-4 things before you send them an invite. Have you been to previous road shows in the same place? And if they might say yes, you can say, okay, how was it? What did you like? Are you already negotiating on some product? Maybe they are not so much willing to open up to you and share why do you care, But as well as how much is your budget, what kind of down payment you have ready with you, and as well as, have you been to Dubai? Have you, been to Dubai and exposed to some developers and locations? And this is how it gives you an idea. If he's answering, yes, I've been to Dubai, I like this project, this and that. Okay, wonderful. Come, let's have a chat and we'll discuss your, your need. But if you're just getting a lead and saying, hi, thank you for signing up, this is your invitation, come. The person comes and say, okay, what do you have? And you are, you are flying and going there for limited period of time, 48 hours. You don't want to sit 2 hours with the customer who is not ready, but he's saying upfront, I want to buy next year. So you also need to know how to handle these kind of customer. You can be honest with them. We are here for 48 hours from 8 to 6 p.m. 10 hours, we have this very short time. We want to give it to the people who are actually ready. And yes, let's keep in touch. Whenever you need something, when I'm back to Dubai, you can write me, we can have a Zoom call, we can discuss your thing. So basically preparation of the venue, the marketing, the budget, the sales advisor you are sending, and the qualification is very important. Then you can rely on having good results. And talking about the results, we have even me personally, I've converted one of the roadshow clients in 2019 to a 400 million dirhams worth of an investor.
Wow.
So you never know
who you're going to meet.
Yes. So this is something interesting. We're still doing it. And I'm looking forward to do a lot of events in the future as well.
Okay, amazing. And I'd like to finish on your advice for people that are entering the off-plan market. So as in, not agents, I'm talking about home buyers.
Home buyers.
Both the end user off-plan buyer and the investor off-plan buyer.
The brand is very important, and the finishing and the location. And as well as it, if it comes with the bonuses, like, you have a lot of retail downstairs, coffee shop where, you can do work from home, as well as I think the value for money is very important for end user, because most of the end user product are more expensive than the investor product. And the reason is that the attention to details, the quality. So end user should go for good locations such as downtown, Marina, JBR. And if they're talking about from the lower point of budget, you should go in a community better than a standalone tower or concept of small living.
And the top tip from Farhan Ali for the off-plan
investors. Top tip, you should go ahead and buy in the underdevelopment areas, such as Dubai Island is your topic right now, as well as any master plan coming in Dubai Land or Dubai South. And if you are a fan of an apartment, for example, like you should go for Maritime, you should go for Creek Harbor, because that's the new downtown. Location, pick a location which is not developed, which has still margins. Number 2, that company that has a very good history delivering on time. And the last thing I would definitely mention is, if you can, hold it, because we are not going to deliver you the same kind of gains that we did in 2021 and 2022. You got to keep patience, because we are coming back to the reality of real estate, which means that you need to give a little bit of time, which can be 2 years to 3 years, and you can really enjoy benefits of this investment. So for an end user and investor both, lastly, I would like to mention the accessibility to the project. You know, most of the agents, they will promise you that they can deliver you the unit But if they are not prepared in advance, they don't have a strong relationship with the developer, and they didn't ask you to put an expression of interest at the right time or made a decision at the right time, you're gonna miss out on that opportunity. And any other opportunity coming next to you, you will be confused, because once you miss a very good opportunity, then you are all over the place. But Dubai got you. We still have good options, and you should go for off plan.
But how do I know that whether the agent's got a good relationship with the developer or not?
There are certain reasons. You can search about the company he works, or even, you can like maybe check their ranking at RERA. They've got 3 stars, 4 star, a transactional history, as well as Google review helps, and as well as you can ask for their social media, because if somebody is successful, they might have something to offer. I know it's personal, some people don't like to show, but all these things, it helps you to, to stand out in the market. You might have your link tree where you have your history, your introduction. If you don't have, make one.
Okay. Top tips from Farhan Ali. Thank you so much. Feel like I got a 101 on off-plan and roadshows, and yeah, that was really useful.
Yeah, I am glad that I got an opportunity to share my experience, and as well as the things we discussed about real estate, which can help the agents or the clients, and hopefully I'm available in the market. And please put my Instagram account.
It'll be right down here in the comments.
Because
Link to the comments.
I missed out on doing a lot of social media content, but my team, my wife, everybody pushed me, do a lot of social media. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on podcast. I'm going to show, the world that what Dubai has to offer.
It's
from
content.
my
Content is king now.
Yeah.
You've got stock is king and content is king.
Stock and content, both are very important.
King and queen.
Now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.